God is dead, that's just chemical goo spinning round in your head. Just one life, one chance, one little spark, one.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, everybody. This is the Cheeky Mom, Erin Alice, and we are. Let me turn down. We're kind of loud. I'm sorry. Let me see. Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
Yes, my hearing aids are fine.
Okay. I was asked just the other day to kind of explain my show a little bit. So that's what I am going to do right now. Somebody asked me, so what's the Cheeky Mom about? And I was like, oh, well, it's just, So basically, what the Cheeky Mom show is about is I want to kind of restore faith in humanity again. And I am surrounded by so many wonderful, fun people, and I want to share it. So I want you guys to all say, hey, who are the people in our neighborhoods in Northwest Indiana? And this is a perfect example of people that are out there. So I feel like we're kind of like losing touch with, everybody sitting outside and chit-chatting in the summer and on your porch. And people don't do, I mean, you and your mother do. And that's why it's nice to walk over to your house and sit on the porch and we talk to everybody. But we're kind of missing that. I don't sit on my porch. Well,
Nah, sorta. You
besides
do.
Colette, I don't have very good.
You don't have great views.
Yeah, right.
You don't have great views.
And Colette, if she comes out, we just talk and whatever. But anyways, she'll call me before she walks on down to have a chit chat with me on my porch. But yeah, so I feel like we're missing the whole neighbor thing, and one of the things that I kind of want to bring to other viewers, and we're getting so many more new people, and what I want to do is be like, these are people in your neighborhood, these are people that are in Northwest Indiana, and we should celebrate it. These are people that are in your community that are doing good things. So with further ado, let me introduce this is my friend Carla.
Good morning, Erin. Thank you for inviting me today.
And she is a very perfect example of what I'm trying to look for the Cheeky Mom show, is that you do so much in the community and you're behind the scenes a lot. Well, you are out there. You're like,
I am sometimes out there, but yes, a lot of behind the scenes.
Yes.
To make sure everything rolls the right direction to get things done.
Yes. And I want to be able to also tell people some of the things that you're doing, because a lot of people probably are just sitting at home and what can my mom looks like she's bored. She doesn't have any friends. Well, we'll talk more about new beginnings and everything, but it's kind of like, let's get more people involved. We need to come together as a community, and we also need to celebrate the good in our community. With so much bad and ick around us, it's nice to bring home some good stuff.
Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, we are.
Yes. Well, I saw the movie this past weekend, so maybe that's why I'm there are good people out there. We need to celebrate it. So, good people, my Carla, and we're going to start right away. Okay. We're going to start out. Who is Carla? Okay, so you were born where?
Kankakee, Illinois.
Okay. And we had your mom on a couple weeks ago.
Yes. You had lovely Louise.
We had Louise on a couple weeks ago, and she kind of told us that. Now, did you go from Kankakee, Illinois, to the chicken coop home, or?
No, I was born. Yes, I was born in Kankakee because we lived in Lake Village.
Okay.
And I went home to a remodeled chicken coop into a home that my dad's cousin and her husband lived in first. It was my great uncle's chicken coop house, and that was our humble abode for a year.
Well, and she told us that there was no bathroom indoors.
No, that's
well,
the good
it
part of
didn't
an
bother
outhouse.
you because
no, I was
in a
little,
diaper.
but an outhouse is an outhouse. You got to go. You got to go. You got to go. But yes, we lived in a chicken coop, and I was told as a child growing up, because I love my coffee. If you know me, give me my coffee. I'm fine. We had no heat. It was cool. I mean, might have been some form. My parents still had, till maybe 20 years ago, there was a little kerosene heater that you filled it up and it went from room to room. So my mother, when I was an infant, put warm coffee into my warm bottle, and I have been a coffee addict for 64 years now. Thank you, Mom.
Well, and you're the Energizer Bunny. You're constantly going. So It's in your
Need
blood.
my coffee. My kids know if they need to IV me when I'm dying, just put the caffeine in my veins and I'll be okay.
Just sit up. Okay, I gotta go. I
Gotta
got
go.
things to do. Okay, so what was it like having Louise as a mother?
Gee, well, she was cool. She put up with a lot of us kids. Mom and dad were foster parents, but anything as children wanted to do as an accomplishment to fulfill our life dreams, mom and dad were always there. Parents were scout leaders. We volunteered as a family in different organizations. Other than scouting, it was a group with the Mental Health Association called the Gold Teens, and it's where the state prison is in Westville. It was Beatty Memorial Mental Institution, and we would go there once a month and volunteer and go to the men's floor because the ladies were crazy and you ran past the ladies' floor to get to the men's. Serious. And we would talk to them or listen to records or whatever. And that was the first time and the last time Louise drove in the snow one time because she did a donut and was screaming she did a banana, and we were in a ditch. And my sister Kathy and I had to retrieve a tow truck to get us out to go do our volunteering. But we did a lot of volunteering. We did a lot of family things together. Mom was just a nurturing mom that taught us things that still carries on to this day.
Well, and that's one of the things is that she always is like, "Oh, Carla's a good kid." I'm like, "Yeah, but you planted that seed for her to be this good kid." Like, she always talks about how she loved being a den mom. Like, she said that was one of her favorite things to do.
Yeah, we had many little Cub Scouts. It was sad to say, though, when my father was passing on, Mom was the den mother still. Dad was the pack master, so I did the Mom's den meeting, and the boys got to face paint me that day. It was fun. I kept them occupied. But Mom did the den. She was a Girl Scout leader for many, many years, and she carried on the junior troop. And then when I went from juniors, I went to a cadet scout. I went to another troop, but Mom still kept her junior troop and still has girls that have been in her troop still popping through saying, "Hi, Mrs. Worst."
And she remembers them. That's
yeah.
what's so crazy is that, like, she was like, "Oh yeah, she was in my Girl Scout troop."
She may not remember me, but she remembers them,
Right.
Who are you?
In the
Where'd
same
you
house.
come from? Yeah.
Mom, it's me. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to talk about how we met.
Okay.
I met you the first time I met you. We were at an estate sale. Oddly enough, you were helping though run the estate sale, and I want to say you just came back to town.
Yeah, many moons ago in 2009, yes.
Well, no, it wasn't 2009 because I moved here in 2013.
Well, oh yeah, it was another one. Yeah, one of my other road trips. I left a man in Florida that year.
Yeah, and I remember you're like, "Yeah, I'm back," and you were talking to Sarah, and I was like, "This is crazy. And you were just so full of life, and I was like, "She's amazing." And then I just got overwhelmed. Like, I was trying to keep up with my kids, my husband, my pets, and Sarah suggested that you come and clean my house, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, and then it was like every Tuesday I was so excited because you would come over, and I would just follow you from room to room, and we got to know each other so well that way. And I'm just so glad that I did that. You were my therapy.
Oh, gee, I do it for free now. Just put me in a car, give me a cup of coffee and a McDonald's chicken sandwich for breakfast. I'm okay.
Yeah, that's how, we could just drive around now and talk. Okay, so I have you on here because I want you to promote what you do at the church.
Okay, I'm the director of older adults for the First United Methodist Church, and when I was introduced as the older adult director, Pastor Mark said he had two youth groups, one for the ages of junior high through senior high, and then Carla's youth group. So my youth group is from the age of 50 to whenever you want to quit doing anything in life. I plan a once a month luncheon called the New Beginnings, and I have to line up entertainment or a guest speaker. Make sure we always furnish the main course, the meat, and walk around with a little jug, and everybody pays $1, but then everybody brings a covered dish or a dessert to share with everybody, and we do our program. I am now being sponsored by Park Place Assisted Living in St.
Nice.
John with gift cards. I was buying 20 gift cards every month as a drawing at the end of our luncheon or whatever, and they have been graciously and donated all the gift cards for this upcoming year.
Wow,
So
that's very nice.
that takes a little less out of my budget that I can use for something else in my budget, which I try to be very frugal with. To ongo a project at Christmas time, we hooked up with the Center Township Trustees Office and my older adult group, New Beginnings. We buy new or gently used coats for everybody that the trustees has as clients, mothers, dads, all the way down. And we purchase new boots for everybody. So they get them when they get their food basket or whatever from the trustees office for Christmas. Our New Beginnings group is part of keeping them warm for the winter.
That is amazing. Now, I want you to talk about when you started, how many people were coming to that luncheon?
I had about 25, and with the weather even on, we never have them in January because you never know what the weather
Yeah.
is in Indiana. And our first luncheon of the year was this past Monday, and we had 65 people attend.
And I mean, but like during the summer when you have it.
In the summer, I have 85 to 100 people showing
Yes.
up, and we have a 4th of July theme. We have the youth group. They always go on a mission trip in June, and there's a lot of the folks that go to our church, and the New Beginnings Luncheon is open to the public.
Yes.
All you got to do is call in the church and say, I'm coming, so I have enough food for everybody, or if we're going to another area to have our luncheon, so we have a count for that group agency or whatever to have the food prepared for us. And the kids tell us in July then at our luncheon what they've done on their mission trip. And the kids do the barbecue for them. We have hot dog. We have like a 4th of July picnic. And this year it's going to be after the 4th of July, so we'll have an after the 4th of July picnic. But that's what we do on 4th of July. And we have it. Our average when it's nice weather is 80 people that come to our New Beginnings luncheon. And
That's
it's from
awesome.
We've got folks that are coming in from Griffith now. It's not just a luncheon for our church. I've opened it up to the community and other churches and other organizations. If you want to come, like I said, just call our church office before the first Monday of the month so you can say, I'm coming to the luncheon, so I have enough food for you.
Yeah. And you get Shrek's.
We have Strax chicken.
Well, right there. That's where I would just show up just for the chicken.
But this last month, but last Monday I had baked ham for them, and instead of Strax chicken, we had
that's
ham.
good too, though.
Something different, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get wigged out on chicken, like I have a lot of pin feathers still coming out of my skin for many years of traveling chicken. So I try to make it entertaining. I have guest speakers I have orthopedic balance coming in. I have a new home at heart. Oh, it's a home facility. It's like an assisted living, but you're still on your own in a home. It's being opened up in March or April in Lowell, and they're coming to talk about their new facility. I had Costco this past Monday. I have to look at my notes because I'm getting really old here. It's April the 6th luncheon that we're having. It's going to be called Two Hearts at Home from Lowell. Then we will have the orthopedic balance coming up. And then June the 8th, I know it's far off, but if you'd like to mark your calendar to come to our luncheon, so I have an exact count. We are having the State of Indiana Council Against Senior Exploitation, and they're bringing a panel up from Indianapolis to, like phone scams, your email scams, any type of deal. And they're going to bring all kinds of other information for the older adults, which you don't have to be old to be scammed. But I figure a lot of my elderly adults don't know all of this knowledge, and they need to be prepared for what could be thrown at them.
Yeah, and especially if they're calling and saying that they're the IRS.
Right.
You're going to get
Or you get a letter saying the IRS. Now, the IRS doesn't send you letters like they're putting out.
Well, okay, so even if you have a parent, this would be an awesome time. Like, what did you say, June 8th?
It's June the 8th.
I mean, my mom is still okay, so I don't have. But that would be like something I would send my dad to, because when before he passed, that would be something that he would worry about.
Right.
You know?
I'm working with an elderly lady now that had her credit card stolen, and I didn't know it till I opened up the mail because she was in rehab. And somebody had taken a credit card and spent $7,000 on it, and it was only for gas at gas stations. Nothing like you're going to go to the mall and go shopping. the person that actually got caught has been known for doing that and did a good job of $7,000.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot, and it's just whatever groups I bring in is something informative for my group of folks. It doesn't
Right.
matter how old you are, you still need to know that. Like my mother, she writes everybody's phone number down off of the caller ID.
Of course she does.
We have notepads of caller ID phone calls. So, but mom will know if she knows that number, then it's okay. But there's a lot of them calling. I've been the maid at my own house at the 800 number. Mom throws me the phone. And, I don't want to answer an 800 number.
Right.
And even my cell phone, when I was on my mission trip, I'm getting unknown. I'm getting Paris, Texas. I'm like, I don't know anybody in Paris, Texas. And elderly people, you don't have to be elderly. They'll pick it up and they can do something even with your voice to, they record your voice and say to a credit card company that, you have to give a voice for your credit card. They've got you there. So all my programs, I try to do something good for everybody else that's involved in it.
So even if you have a parent that you're, send them, tell them, go have some lunch for $1 and bring a side plate and something to eat on.
Yeah, and it's fun.
Yeah, well, and that's just it. It's like, I mean, I will say I type up the newsletter.
She's
for
my
her.
personal secretary. I have my own personal secretary here, but she helps me out get it all together, and I do quarterly newsletters that I send out to folks that are not members of our church. Members of our church, anybody over the age of 50 gets a newsletter with any kind of activity that's going to be going on through my group that I'm
And
in
plus,
charge of.
we started a New Beginnings page on Facebook, so go on there if you want more information and follow us because we post stuff on there. And you can see all the different activities that you're doing with them. And I keep telling Carla, like this way you can get the kids to do it because Louise may not be on Facebook.
No,
but you have some people that are on Facebook, and you have people that have elderly adults that they're just sitting at home. They should come out, be part of New Beginnings.
just do, because if you don't use it, you lose it.
Right, and it is nice to. Me and Hazel helped you with the maxi pad.
Oh yeah, for the girls in Malawi.
Yes,
that was the grannies.
And I was helping sew them and stuff like that, and just like listening to all of the stories around was just so awesome. And like Hazel had so much fun that day. And she keeps on saying, when can we go back to Crafty Grannies? Well, you're in school. I'm not taking you out of school to come craft.
But the
with
grannies
us.
like little kids, so
Yes.
she might have to be ill that day.
Well, and she did have so much fun with them because they were talking to her and she was talking back to them. Well, not talking back. That's just me that she talks back to. But she was like
Interacting with the with the women, yeah.
And it was one of those things that we made plans that day and they got canceled, and it was like we just were destined to do that, and we had so much fun. So thank you for that.
You can come back. We're going to be doing them in March sometime, but not during spring break.
Okay, I would definitely help out and I'll bring my own sewing machine.
Oh, okay.
The sewing machine I had, I was like, I think my great grandma had this machine.
Yeah, and we had one that went nuts and spools were going and the presser foot wouldn't stop. But you can bring your own machine there and I'll help you carry it in. No problem.
Well, I have two really nice ones. Maybe we could hook them both up. Okay, so now that we've kind of mentioned the Crafty Grannies, let's talk about Crafty Grannies.
Okay, Crafty Grannies, we meet every Friday from 10:30 to 12:30 in the fellowship hall. And you don't have to be a granny and you don't have to be a lady. You can be a gentleman if you like to. If you like to join us, you're more than welcome. We do all of our group is based on missions. We do all of the missions and the givings. Other than we're expanding out a little bit by doing the Operation Smile bags. We make bags up that go to Chesapeake, Virginia, where they have doctors that are going all around the world that do cleft palate surgeries. So in that bag, the folks will get a mirror, they get a notebook. We've made little dolls that go with them. And the dolls have no faces on, so the children.
I sewed those too.
Yeah, you helped. Yours was different, though. Yours wasn't the doll. Yours was another doll. Your doll had a bad name to it. It's a darn it doll you did for me.
Okay, I did.
But we did
I
that
knew
for.
dolls.
But we use the same pattern. But so the kids or the adults, whoever gets the dolls, can put their own smile then and their own face on that doll. And then we are working on a project to Malawi where the girls there, when they become a woman, they don't have the sanitary products that our girls and women are able to have. And so we make them a recyclable, reusable max pad system for them, and we're sending those to Malawi. So that's our out of focus one. I mentioned when I was on Ron's show that our grannies, we saved the paper sleeves from your newspaper and all those beautiful plastic bags you get at the store. And we cut them and rolled them and loomed them into mats. And we've made over 100 of those, given them out to different homeless shelters, homeless folks in Denver, Chicago, and Joliet, Illinois now. Let's see, what else do we do around? We donate to Mommy's Haven in Lowell, which is a home for women that are in transition, that has a child that has nowhere else to go. We help them with that. We have bought them all of their laundry products and sanitary products out of the money that we made from our bazaar and our craft shows and our Mother's Day sales. We're donating to that group. We're working on now, we're sewing granny squares. The grannies are making granny squares, and we are making lap blankets for people in wheelchairs that are through the Calumet Hospice program. So the grannies are working on that. But we try to generate all of our projects that we do locally or around the Northwest Indiana area. So we give back for what we're doing to our own community, our own Mr. Rogers community.
See, and if I didn't bring you on here, people wouldn't know.
Right.
The grannies that are out there doing good things and nobody's giving them kudos.
And the grannies are actually, I'm going to put a plug in for our grannies now. We're having a pre-Mother's Day sale in our fellowship hall from 8:30 to noon on May the 3rd. We're having many nice Mother's Day gifts if you need it for your even for the end of the school year teacher gifts. We're going to have all kinds of different things there, and that will be May the 3rd. We get Mother's Day looking mugs. We're sort of thrifty people. We find them that people don't want anymore. This says Happy Mother's Day on it, or go to the thrift store, and then we plant plants in them. We plant pansies in them so that you can transplant them out also. And I think we sell the mug and the flower for $2. But all the monies that the grannies make are for local mission charities that we work on.
Do you need more of my mom's Christmas cactus?
When it comes for Christmas, yes, please.
Well, that just is reserved for Christmas.
Aaron's mother did a great job and got us starts going for the Christmas bazaar with Christmas cactuses, and yes.
Well, that Christmas cactus was my Aunt Lois's. I think it was a start from my Aunt Lois's, and it's like 1,000,000 years old. I mean, this Christmas cactus.
And they're thriving.
Yes, and it's gorgeous.
If you go to church, there's Aunt Lois's start on the desk of the office, because we have one for there. Yes, and it's blooming, so it's good.
Yes. Okay. Now we're going to talk about all of your trips. You sure do like to travel.
But I come home too.
You do come home.
I come home to Louise making me my toast every morning for breakfast, which I really missed because she makes the nooks and crannies with a pound of butter in each one.
Yes, the Alice family has to figure into their yearly budget ice cream money for Carla. So we have a deal that whenever one of us goes on vacation, we send money with, I'll slip her some money and be like, don't forget to take some ice cream money. So wherever we're at, we have ice cream and we thank Carla, and then you have ice cream, you thank us.
Yes, I had my ice cream day. It wasn't on National Ice Cream Day because I was not around a place to get ice cream that day. It was after work one day. I was working at the boys' orphanage. We redid a kitchen, the entire...
Well, where were you first?
Oh, I was on the island of Rotan, Honduras.
Okay.
And I said, I have to get my ice cream. Now, you have to understand, I'm back in Northwest Indiana. It's chilly and it's cold, and it was 82 degrees there, and my ice cream was melting as fast as I opened it. So I was out on a dock having my lunch, and a lady was there, and I said, will you please take a picture? So I had to send it via Facebook to Aaron for the kids because we have ice cream deals wherever I go or wherever they go. I've been to Thailand and had an ice cream there and sent it back to Aaron. And everywhere we go, it's just our little mutual friendship of ice cream and the kids.
Yes. And when I'm out estate sailing with her mom and I get stuck by a train and I call Panic and, Carla, can you pick up my kids from school? I'll come home and my kids still aren't home because they're gallivanting around with Carla having ice cream and having a good time.
We get ice cream, and then we drive around the fairgrounds in Crown Point, and we honk the horn through the covered bridge. And if it's Christmas time, we try to find some lights lit up. But yes, it's fun with the ice cream.
Well, this is the first year that we actually got to go with. Mike is like, wait, they're getting ice cream and going to see the Christmas lights? I'm like, yeah, that's kind of crap. Why aren't we going? And so, and you're like, me and Louise are coming to pick up the kids. We're like, we're going too. So this was the first year that me and Mike got to join you, and it was fun.
Yeah, and I've got ice cream for everybody but myself. I'm driving and going, oh, me, no, I'm not getting back in the line again to get ice cream.
But we shared.
Yes, we shared. We shared the end
That's
of the
what
ice
happens
cream.
when you sit in the front seat. You get to share.
But I do like to travel. It was a bug put into me by my parents.
Yes.
My dad worked for a bud company in Gary, and they always had a changeover period the last week of July, the 1st of August. And Mom cleaned houses, ironed clothes, because way back then there's not a lot of money to begin with. You didn't get a big paycheck. So we could go on vacation. We went in a pop-up camper to California as a brood. We've had hardtop campers, whatever. I was never home for my birthday until it was my 16th birthday. Really was my first birthday I can remember at home, because we didn't go that year. Something went on, but we did all that good stuff. And when my mother had told you about my trip to Europe, that was my first time. It was my 15th birthday. I went with the Crown Point High School Symphony Band to the World Music Festival, and that was my first big trip overseas. And it just started more of the bug. I wanted to do it, and then I traveled with a singing group that's still on the road called Up With People. I did that for 3 years, and I was in Europe for 10 months and 2 months in Africa, and then the rest of the time I was another 6 months in Europe and traveled the United States and Mexico with them. And then I sort of had to click my heels together back to Oz, and then I was a married woman with children, and our big vacation was sort of like when I was a kid. We went to Wisconsin every other weekend, or the summer we went to Wisconsin because my husband was there to visit family. And I didn't get to go back to Europe again until 1998. And by then I was grandma to Andrew, and he didn't talk yet because he was a baby. But I would call home every night and try to talk to Andrew from there. But now I'm sort of a butterfly on my own, doing my thing for mission trips, going to Roatan. And I go with the youth mission and the older adults to Henderson, Kentucky in September. But if I save enough of my nickels together, I can make a trip.
Yes.
And I like my trips.
Yes, you do like your trips. Even though I don't approve of the Disney one, because I want you to
Oh, yeah. Don't go. Colette, if you're listening, let it go. Let it go.
I know.
It's torture right now.
You were very glum this Christmas because you weren't at Mickey's house for Christmas.
Yeah, Mick's a nice guy at Christmas. He's a nice guy at Christmas. And I went last summer, I sort of did a whirlwind trip. I went to Arizona to my Up With People reunion with my gang for our 45th reunion, and I went straight from there home at 11 at night and got in my daughter's car, and we left for Disney for another 2 weeks. But I celebrated my birthday, my daughter's birthday, my granddaughter's birthday at Disney, so it was a special trip.
Well, and it was it her 40th?
It was Sissy's 40th,
yes.
Colette or Cassie's 14th, and Grandma here my 64th birthday. But it was wonderful. It was well worth it.
Yeah, and it was cool to see. It's like cool to see the generations, and it's ridiculous how much you all look alike. It's like you're related.
You good gene pool somewhere
yes,
there,
right.
somewhere there.
Okay, we're gonna have to stop for commercial. Ron, I lost the commercials on the podcast.
Technical difficulty.
I was like, oh my god, I screwed something up.
Scroll back.
Oh, Mr. Wizard.
Playlist. I'm sorry, people.
That's cool.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna break for a commercial. Carla can have some coffee, and when we come back, we'll keep on talking to Carla.
Yeah.
Carol.
Yeah, Carol. Good old Carol.
Dr. Tori's Dental Shop in Cherville is a dentist to the stars. Her wealth of knowledge in the area of pain management, plus her ability to communicate the process, makes you feel like a star. The practice is growing for all the right reasons. Call and set up an appointment before her client book is full. Call 219-322-4036 and tell them you heard about it right here on Ron Harlow Media. Dr. Tori's Dental Shop is located at 130 East Joliet Street in Cherville at 219-322-4036. Call and feel better about every dental visit you ever have again.
Spend the holidays with us in downtown Hammond, Indiana. You'll have a fun and festive time while supporting small and local businesses. Enjoy shopping, dining, brewery, the arts, and events. Like and visit the Downtown Hammond Council on Facebook. For a listing of where to go and what to do, call Karen at 219-512-4298 between 9 a.m. and 7 p.m. Hammond is happening.
Looking for a friend who knows how to be a good listener? Humane Indiana in Munster has four-legged friends waiting to meet you. Open daily at 11 a.m., Humane Indiana provides many animal services from rescue to daily care. They provide on-site education while managing a wildlife preserve. At the main facility located at 421 45th Street, the staff awaits your visit. Ron Harlow Media would like to thank Director Brian Fitzpatrick and Board Vice President Scott Filler from Apex Construction and Remodeling for their support. Visit Humane Indiana and leave with a new member of the family. To find out more, visit the Humane Indiana website or dial 219-922-3811.
We are taking the hassle out of holiday shopping at It's Just Serendipity. Gifts for everyone on your shopping list for every budget. We carry everything vintage and antique, handcrafted, upcycled, and repurposed goods by local artists, yummies prepared by local vendors such as honey, toffee, and biscotti. Carry decor, memorabilia, and custom gift baskets. Shop small with us at 5630 Homan Avenue in downtown Hammond, Indiana. Like It's Just Serendipity on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, or visit our website, itsjustserendipity.com.
Experience Broadway in Northwest Indiana. Established as the top provider of entertainment, Theater at the Center in Munster brings you the best in live theater, music, and comedy without city prices and parking hassle. With its elegant setting and superb talent, Theater at the Center in the Round makes each production must-see. 5-star dining is optional for select shows in each of the Thursday night performances. For show dates, times, and prices, visit theateratthecenter.com or call 219-836-3255. Ask about becoming a subscriber. Discounted tickets and priority seating are just a few of the benefits you'll receive. Call 219-836-3255. Theater at the Center. You'll leave impressed. Now listen to Harlow tell you about what's on stage right now.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. All right. I'm not Ron Harlow, but I will tell you what's going on at Theater at the Center. Almost Heaven. It's the John Denver story. And man, do you have bad handwriting, Ron. It starts tomorrow, February 13th, and it runs through March 22nd. And to get tickets, you contact theateratthecenter.com. Okay, and I'm also going to promote something for my friend Amanda. She is a wonder mom. Has a job, and she's a hockey mom and a dance mom, and she's on the PTO of her kid's school. They go to MacArthur School in Crown Point. Is that at Crown Point still? Yeah. Okay. In Crown Point. And they need a new playground for their kids. And they need it to be handicap accessible. They have pictures, and I was like, wow, they still have that on their playground, because Solon's got a pretty nice playground. My kids will even play on it when, there's no school. Okay, so they are trying to raise money for a new handicap accessible playground. So they are having the Roaring 20s party. So you don't have to, but you can dress up like the 20s. Amanda borrowed the dress that I wore to Feast of Screams when I was a dead woman. Yeah, a dead woman, a ghost from the Titanic. Anyways, so it is going to be on Saturday, February 22nd from 6 to 10 at the Lighthouse Restaurant in Cedar Lake. And it's $100 per person. And if you would like tickets, you've got to go to www.macpto.com. So if you're looking for a good evening out there, I donated to auction prizes or whatever, silent auction prizes. But I got to drop them off at Amanda's house, and I saw how many she already had, and that was, gosh, that was in January, and I was like, holy cats, this is a lot of stuff already. So there's going to be tons of stuff to bid on. Go out, have a good time.
When is this again?
It is my mom's birthday, February 22nd, Saturday, 6 to 10 p.m. So, and you get dinner, dancing. It sounds like it'll be a great time. So my husband wasn't always working on the weekends.
I'll watch the kids.
Well, and Mike, because he'll be at home
I'll watch
working.
Mike too. I'll watch Mike.
Okay, so now let's see. Okay, why don't we talk about the trip that you are? Well, what do you want to talk first? Do you want to talk about the trip that you need? Want to promote, that you want more people to come with you, a New Beginnings trip,
Sure.
or do you want to talk about where you just came from?
Okay, first I want to where I just came from.
Okay, because you're nice and tan and you have cute hair. So explain, lady, where were you?
Lucy will explain to you. I was greatly blessed to be on a 2-week mission trip to the island of Rotan, Honduras, where our church, the First United Methodist Church of Crown Point, helped reconstruct a church that had been dilapidated from earthquakes and wear and tear over the years, and we rebuilt, and it was dedicated a year ago, Serena Gethsemane. And while we were there, we always want to do a project on the island for the people, whatever, just to give back to them, because they don't have the resources to do those type of programs. So our group I was one of the men working. I worked with the guy group and the construction crew, and we went to the boys' orphanage in Gravel Bay, and they have 10 little boys, and 5 little wee ones, and 5 that are going from the age of 13 to 18. They're all lovely, and I want to bring them home.
I was about to say, you didn't come home with them.
And I showed my son-in-law last night my photos of the kids, and he goes, Colette, we need a house with 12 bedrooms. Because, so we went to the kitchen, and we knocked out the kitchen in 7 days of working. We took apart all their cabinets. The boys learned how to use drills, saws, and rebuilt cabinet doors, drawers, sanded off their old doors, repainted them. Now it is a slate gray wall with a beautiful popping blue cabinets with white
Right.
trim. We redid their bathrooms again. We are very gracious to be having the plumbing skills with us, and redid their bathrooms and found out why their toilet drains and their bath drains weren't working, and we had to call the septic man, which was an adventure to watch. But we got the orphanage looking beautiful for the boys. I was honored or privileged. I should say I have folks that donated money to me for whatever I wanted to do on the island for my mission trip. And I got all of the boys their school uniforms. They go to
Nice.
2 different schools, and everybody got all new all new school clothes. Got one set of clothes. So, and the boys at the orphanage have to wash their own clothes. They have to iron their own clothes, and they know how to do it. It's beautiful watching a 7-year-old iron his shirt.
Wow.
So I got school clothes. We took money from our funding for our mission trip and bought them all their new school shoes. Then we purchased, I found out they had, like my mother may have said about one bath towel growing up, that they had, there's a set of brothers that had one bath towel between the 2 of them, and nobody else had bath towels. So I went on a hike, and everybody got new bath towels, new washcloths. Then I took laundry down and saw underwear that needed to be replaced. They got new underclothes from us. And my daughter Colette and her family gave me money to buy American candy for the boys, and they probably all went home with a 2-pound bag of candy. We had the boys over our last night on the island for a barbecue at the home that we stay at Casa Isabella, and it's right on the water. And those little boys are the cutest little things. I had went through security with about 50 glow sticks that didn't go off, and glow sticks were running around the beach, and then they turned into sandballs. And before they left, because we had a rented truck, they had to get sand off, so they washed off all. Then they came to me, and I was going to pass them out some clean underpants to go to the washroom to They were ready to just take off. No, go in the bathroom. And they went home with a bag of wet clothes then. And then we had a young gentleman named Ryan that came from Naperville, Illinois, and he plays semi-pro soccer, and he brought down new soccer shorts and shirts for the boys.
Oh, awesome.
So they went home with clean undies and soccer pants and soccer shirts. And the best part of watching these boys, they love the mentorship of the young men that went on our mission trip.
Right.
Because after everybody worked so hard all day, it was always time at least for a soccer game. And they just had some hellacious, every day was soccer. But you had to get your work done to play. That's what we did there. And then the second week, I was over at our church that we had helped build, Serena Gethsemane. And there I had planned a 2-day Bible school on Tuesday and Wednesday in the afternoon. But Tuesday morning at the Roatan Bike and Skate Shop, which is owned by an American couple. They have a shop in California and one there now. And the wife, Rachel, and the children live on Roatan all the time now. And the husband goes back and forth to run the business in the States and that. Anyway, they gave me a spot on their property to work on bicycles. Well, we had one bicycle. And then my friend Mark and Diane from Pennsylvania came and joined us. And Mark was like the Pied Piper of the Breche and came back with bikes. Well, it was Bible school time, and Diane went down then with Liz Langston. They did Bible school, and Mark and I did 35 bikes in 4.5 hours from tires, chains, inner tubes. But the kids in the neighborhood have got all their bikes fixed, and I purchased a bike, a little boy's bike. We didn't have the right rim there. It was bent, and they didn't have any, so I was going to buy him this bike, and he was all crying because it was sort of girl colors. Well, an hour later, Carla forked over the money. He has a new bike, and we're waiting for a container. I have two other friends, Debbie Wagner and Jan Rataski, and I chipped in the funds, and we have 10 BMX bikes sitting in customs in Roatan right now, waiting to be delivered to Rachel and then go to the boys at the orphanage. We'll all have new bicycles to have something to play with.
So you created a biker gang.
I got a biker gang.
A cute one.
A cute biker gang.
With soccer shorts.
Yes, with soccer shorts. They got breeches. They got underwear and breeches to go. But I did that for the 2 weeks, and it's just my blessing. It's my blessing to be able to do it.
Okay, so how many years have you been doing Roatan?
Since 2011.
Okay. I'm like, as long as I've known you, you've been going.
Right.
So.
Sometimes we go for 1 week, and I go the 1 week. Sometimes if we go 2 weeks like this year, I had all my ducks in a row before I hit the airport, and I get it done and go for the 2 weeks.
Okay, and then just today you posted opening all the cards from everybody.
Oh, that was from 3 years ago, 2 years.
Andy looks like a baby, so yeah, it's been a while.
My grandson has been there twice with me, and now he's a grown, responsible man with a job and house payment and truck, and he didn't get to go with me. But my daughter is always surprising me for my mission trips of getting donations here, there, and that from my friends around the world so I can continue my journey of what I'm doing.
Yes.
Yep. It's repost on Facebook, so if you're out there listening to me, you can sit there and cry with Grandma again.
Yeah, I cried too. Hazel's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Carla's opening our card right now."
And I didn't know she was recording it that time,
Yeah.
and I'm being my normal goofball self. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Carla. It's Carla.
All right. Now let's talk about the trip.
Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on this camera.
Yeah, it's a lot of information.
It's a lot of information. I am sponsoring through the New Beginnings group at my church. It's a bus trip to, Memphis, Tennessee, and we will be visiting Graceland, the Sun Studios, many other attractions in the Memphis area. We're going to be having a day playing at Beale Street. And we will be staying, though, at a casino in Tunica, and they will be transporting us by bus. It's a diamond tour. We'll be leaving Crown Point on May the 18th and coming home on May the 23rd. It's not a straight trip down to Memphis. We will be stopping overnight, going down, and coming home. If you would like to go, if you have a roommate, it'll be $509 per person. And if you don't have a roommate, you have an extra fee because you're paying for a single room, and your fee will be $754 for that trip. If you'd like to do the trip, you can call me and leave me a message at our church office, at area code 219-663-1515, or you can leave me a voice message on my phone, because if I don't know your number, I won't answer, and I'll listen to your voice message. And my number is area code 219-477-9115. But if you'd like to go on this trip, I need to know and have your trip paid for by March the 4th. It's March the 4th is the deadline on this trip, and I have about 10 seats left, and I would really love you to join me, because this is my third bus trip, and I know how to take care of you. Get sick and have to be shipped home, and all those good things I've learned, and we just have a great time together.
Well, I'm hoping one day to be able to go with you to help you, because I mean, I like going with you to help at like going to Bailey's and stuff. I love it. I love listening to them all chit chat in the back and talk about what their purchases were at Bailey's and all this other stuff. And
it's a fun time on the bus trips, because we play bingo. I bring prizes. I mean,
Yeah.
we just do all kinds of little different things down the road to keep the monotony. And sometimes my last bus trip, the DVD player didn't work, so we didn't get to watch a movie, but that's okay. We got to look out and look at beautiful Michigan during the bus ride.
well, and you're my babysitter, so if you leave, I can't. I can't like.
You can leave the kids with my mom.
Oh gosh. She would be like, "Come home now." Well, and Jack is learning how to drive this summer, so next year I probably would be able to go because he could drive. Well, I don't know how that. Yeah, he could drop off his brother and sister.
No, he's at school before.
Well, are you kidding me? My kids are me. They're at school at 7.
Okay.
And they don't start until 7:35. They get totally like, we gotta go. I can't be late. Like, hurry up and wait. That's our
Hurry
motto.
up and wait. Well, at least they're ready to wait.
Well, and it's my mom that like you don't be late. You just don't be late.
No, I'd rather be late or early than late. I hate that feeling.
Ask Ron. I show up here way too early sometimes. I'm like, sorry, Ron.
Yeah, we'll do your dishes, Ron. We're sorry. We're here ahead of time.
Oh, they were already done. Darn.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about one of your favorite places that you've ever been, besides Disney.
Oh, gosh. My favorite place. My children knew if my passport was not in my jewelry box, I would be at 337 Heijstraat Street, Wildrik, Belgium, with my Belgian mom and dad. Because when I traveled with people, I stayed at their home. They had 5 children, still have 5 children, and they're all the same age. I have a Belgian brother, maybe he's a year or two younger than me, but it was the same stair step as being at home again. And I've been over there to visit. They've come to my home to visit. And it's my Belgian mom and dad. I would be there. It's very quaint little town outside of Antwerp. And the landscape and the weather is just like Northwest Indiana. So you don't have to go far. Yeah. But I would love to, if somebody would like to take me as a tour guide and pay for my trip, I would go to Thailand and Cambodia and Vietnam. Yeah, I don't know. No, I am not worrying about people on a 24-hour flight to get there. No. One's enough, and I took Andrew to Thailand, but Thailand is very beautiful, welcoming country.
I think that's where Mike's cousin and her partner just came from. I think they went to Thailand. I think that's where you went, Jackie, right?
The answer is Jackie. But, I met a young man at the dive shop next to the church in Rotan, and he's from France. Oh, that's okay. But his brother and his family moved to Thailand, and he had a Buddhist shirt on, with everything. And I said, we're Thailand. So we talked about Thailand. I like to try any kind of foods in my life. When I was growing up, you tried, and if you didn't eat it, you didn't eat. It wasn't a cafeteria, and it's still, so I'm very adventurous. And
yeah, I think Louise told us about Chicken of the Sea.
Yeah, that was my sister Kathy. Yeah, and chicken sticks, yes. But I have to say, I did eat red in Thailand because it was barbecued first, and then they cooked it in a dish at one of our lunch stops. But it just, like everything else, it tastes like chicken. Tastes like chicken.
But you've eaten squirrel before because
I love
and
deep-fried
Canadian
squirrel.
Kim used to talk about squirrel all the time.
Deep-fried squirrel and deep-fried rabbit, yeah. I'm sorry, if it doesn't eat me first, I'll try it.
Well, I think my mom and my stepdad went to Thailand too, and she really loved it. So
It's just lush and green and beautiful. And
right.
the people are just so, they're open. It's weird. And in Bangkok, it was amazing, though, because you go to our big city sometimes, and the streets are dirty. Let's say they're dirty from the daytime. We woke up and down, and it didn't look like there was anybody had been out there the day before. It was just spotless as all get out. I mean,
Wow.
and it's the people with their little brooms made out of the palm prongs going down the road, and it's beautiful. But I would go anywhere that my passport that's new for another 10 years will take me.
Okay. One of the things that I do admire about you is when you and I were doing our therapy and talking and cleaning. Well, you were cleaning, I was talking. One of the things that I admire about you is that you were the third wife of your husband. And you brought all of the kids together because you always said they're my family because they're Frank's family. And that was one of the things that I admire. You let, there was no like, well, he said, like there was no animosity. You wanted to bring, because these were Colette's brothers and sisters.
Right. They
So-
are Colette's brothers and sisters.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And everybody says, well, those are stepchildren. They're not my stepchildren. They're my kids. Because when my husband was passing on, it was before they went up to see their dad, like 2 days before he passed. And I told the kids, I said, you kids are my kids. You've been with me for 26 years. Your children are my grandchildren. And please don't take that away. And we're still one happy. We may not see each other every day, even if we're in the same area, but we're still family.
And I was so confused because when I first met you, I knew Colette was your kid. Like, I was like, but then you'd be like, oh, my son. And I was like, I thought Colette was her kid. Like, I always, but then you had explained to me, and I was like, oh my God, that is so nice. It's not like you're saying my stepson. That's my son.
I don't like that step.
Yeah.
This is my stepdaughter.
And I always admired that about you because you didn't carry any animosity. Well, I don't know about the other wives, but but you even said that they show up sometimes for holidays.
Yeah.
And you get along with them now too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I knew my husband's. It was funny, the first time my husband brought his children over from wife number 1 to his mom's house, I'm sitting there playing jacks with my nieces, and here comes the kids in the house, and I'm going, hi, Carla. And my husband-to-be is like, how do you know my kids? Well, sorry, I dated one of their mom's boyfriend's buddies before I met you, honey. I'm sorry, but I knew them, and I knew my boys, my 2 boys, David and Derek, because their mom was in Scouts with us. The kids were all from Crown Point, living on 2 different sides of town, but there was this rift between first wife, second wife, but I drew them together as they're a family. They're kids. I mean, my husband, the first weekend after, it was maybe the second weekend after we were married, he came home from work, and I had all the kids. He goes, what are they? I said, we're having a sleepover. Go to bed. We're having a sleepover. But it was lovely at his memorial. Both his ex-wives, Sherry and Mary, were there with me, and they told everybody if it wasn't for me, the kids would have never known each other, and it was a blended family, and it was. Yeah. I mean, we all have our differences in life here or there or whatever, but you can't, and that's the sad thing I see about families with divorce, and this is my kid, this is your kid. And
yeah.
I hate that. You should just love everybody.
And
let their differences go their own ways.
And that's why I admire you, because you're good people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, enough of the sappy crap. Let's promote some stuff.
Okay. Would you like to buy a raffle ticket? No.
Well, one of the things that I would like to promote, because, man, we spent many hours together. Pastor Mark really gets us into some doozies. And I don't know how many years ago that was, but it was basically you, me, and Julie, and we set up for Feast of Screams, which is so much fun. Gosh, it's so much fun. It's like a haunted house, but not. And we have food and we have dancing, and it's just for adults.
It's an adult Halloween party with no alcohol.
No alcohol.
Yeah.
Unless it comes in your purse.
Yeah.
Shh.
Meet you in the parking lot.
Yeah, meet you in the parking lot. But yeah, it working on that with you and Julie and Dano was just so much fun, and we we rocked it out. Like we would sit down and we're like, we're going to rock all of this out today and just get it done. And we did. And it was so much fun. So last year we took a break.
Right.
And that's where I got sucked into hunting in Hammond, and I was like, oh my gosh, and I felt guilt the whole time I was there because I was like, I'm cheating on Mark. I'm making Halloween happen in a different town. So I drew you in too.
It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, you got to meet Butch Patrick.
Svengoolie and Eddie Munster.
Yeah.
And got him ice cream. See, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
But, and I was going to post that picture with you and Eddie Munster and his ice cream. And Karen didn't even know about that. I talked about that on Monday when I was on WJOB, and I said, oh yeah, and Carla got him she just looked at me like, wait, she got him ice cream?
There was,
Oh, Butch Patrick wanted ice cream. Eddie Munster says, get me ice cream. You get him ice cream.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we are going to have Feast of Scream again this year. So you and I get to spend a whole week together setting up.
And 16 hours a day before it happens, but that's okay.
It's a lot of fun. But it is fun. We have such a great time. And, I mean, we craft all the way, like, we got plenty of time to, you and I dyeing sheets in the backyard. And sewing.
We got clouds. We don't have to worry about clouds.
Yes, we're totally set for a night sky whenever you need it. Okay, but I recently had a meeting with Pastor Mark, and I'm hoping to get him on here at some point. Because, you know, we'll do one with Pastor Mark, and then we'll come back and Mark Merriman, is that what is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it could be like one guy, two identities.
He has a split personality.
Yeah, he sure does. Okay, so Julie and I, we had a meeting, and we have a date for Feast of Scream. So everybody out there, October 23rd, mark it on your calendars. It's a Friday. It is so much fun. DJ, food, we're just gonna have a good time, and I think we're going with the theme of haunted homecoming-ish kind of thing, so it's gonna be a school. Get ready to make lockers, Carla. We're gonna have lockers.
Okay, everybody save your refrigerator boxes for us now.
Yeah, right. Just start stockpiling them. We need them. So I wanted to plug that because I kind of want to get it out there. Next week? Yeah, next week I'll have Karen on here from Downtown Hammond Council, and we'll be talking more about hunting in Hammond and all the other good stuff happening in downtown Hammond. But I just wanted to get that plug in there, and I'm hoping that her and Judy and their crew gets to come and celebrate Halloween with us at Feast of Scream and see how we do it.
Okay, I have two plugs if that's all right. Okay, next Friday, February the 21st at Karma Cigar Bar in Maryville, the Crown Point First United, the Monsters of Main Street, which is our football team, which we are undefeated. We are hosting a program called Bears and Babies. That's February 21st from 6 to 10 p.m. And we will have Steve McMichael, Doug Plank, and Gene Schroeder from the Chicago Bears there with a meet and greet and sit and talk with all of us. It is a $50 ticket. And you can order your tickets through the website of First United Methodist Church, Crown Point. And all of the money that is raised is for the baby safe haven boxes, the box that is at the Crown Point Fire Department. The second day the box was there was a newborn released to that box, and it costs them approximately $10,000 a year to keep that box maintained to the specs that they need. And our church is having a fundraiser for that called Bears and Babies. With your ticket, when you come in, there's a full dinner that night. Food's going to be there. I'll be a hostess and a server. You'll see me wearing a Bears outfit, my Packers uniform underneath. But you have a choice of either getting a cigar when you come in or a free beer that night. And then, drum roll, April the 2nd at St. Sava Hall in Maryville will be the Crown Point Lions Club Bingo. And that will be, the doors will open at 5 and bingo will start at 6. It is $5 for admission with your card. If you bring glasses donated, you will get another bingo card. And I forgot to put a plug in.
I was going to say.
For our Roatan mission trip, the Crown Point Lions Club gave us their glasses they collected from their November bingo, and we read them, and in Roatan, we gave out over 500 pairs of glasses, and the Crown Point Lions Club helped us get those glasses there. And Dr. Sheila Bogart's office in Crown Point did the readings. We did readings, and we helped people of Roatan be able to see.
That is awesome. And neither one of us are in Lions Club. We just
No.
have relatives that are.
Yeah, well, we're there. We'll
Yeah,
plug
I
it,
have,
you know.
I am married to Lion Mike.
And, and Lion Louise is my mother, and Lion Jim's my brother, and Lioness Donna's my sister-in-law.
Yeah, so that is a lot of fun. I totally recommend it. They have a bar there.
Food.
We sneak in food.
Yeah, well, we bring in our own, but yeah, we have fun.
Yeah, I mean,
Don't forget your daubers, though, man. They got money cards there. You can make money on the money cards.
Well,
and chip boards.
Oh well, and then they have baskets full of booze and meat coming down. You raffle. It is the most crazy thing. You could just go there and just watch, and it's entertainment enough. I mean, not me though. I'm there to win money. Y'all better watch out. Yeah. I have won once.
I did too. I won a bottle of dead champagne.
I won $257 right before we left for spring break. So I was like, we're gonna go to Cracker Barrel for dinner, people.
We have money now.
We have money. Woohoo! Living large. Okay. I think that's it. You have no more plugs?
No.
Once again, give us where we contact you for your trip.
My bus trip to Memphis, Tennessee. Dates again are May the 18th through the 23rd, 2020. And you can reach me on my cell phone at area code 219-477-9115 or call the church office at area code 219-663-1515.
And we'll put all that information on
our New Beginnings webpage.
Yeah, and definitely go on there. Even if you don't have even if you're not like 50 years old and you go to New Beginning, just watch the Facebook page, because just seeing all of the cool stuff that the Crafty Grannies are doing and the trips. I mean, a whole bunch of cute little old people going to see the Rail Cats. And
we're going to Rail Cats upcoming September the 6th.
So, I mean, it is something that when I see Carla post something, it does make me happy, because there is something out there for everybody. And this is so perfect for your senior to get out there and still live and have fun. I mean, and Carla
Life's too short to sit at home.
Right. And it keeps them alive. If they got Crafty Grannies to go to. I mean, and through the church, they can go to do exercises. That's what, Monday through Friday?
Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, yes.
Yes. And that's another thing, is that before you took over, there was 5 or 6 people showing up, and now
we got 30.
Yeah. Now they have to move up to the fellowship hall. It used to be in a classroom.
Right. And they're coming in from DeMott and Hobart and everywhere else too to do and it's a low impact exercise that everybody can do. If you can't stand up, they've got chairs for you to do it.
Right. So these are things that you just got a little search a little bit, and I'll post the link and stuff like that on the Cheeky Mom page, and we'll put more information. Just get the information out there.
Thank you, Erin, for having me this
morning.
morning.
Thank you. I'm going to come back, and oh gosh, I'm hoping not to cry during the next segment, but for Fox's sakes, I found this article has been going around on my dyslexia websites, and it has been going around with my friends that are teachers, that are special ed teachers, and it's just kind of horrifying that stuff like this is going on in schools in our nation. So I'm going to just touch on it. I promise I won't cry, because it is so frustrating. But when I get back, we're going to discuss that, and Carla's going to sit and have a cup of coffee and talk to Ron, I guess.
Play some gin, right?
Okay, they can play some gin.
We're drinking gin? Okay.
If you win, you get a shot.
Okay. That's like my Spanish lessons. Thank you.
No, Spanish lesson. Yeah.
Spanish lessons.
Thank you so much for being on my show. Love you, Mama.
Love you too, sweetheart.
Ready to do your thing. Get your really fun stuff. Very fun.
My mouse ears are into my head.
Since 1964, Springer Realty has been helping homeowners save thousands when buying or selling their home. Springer Realty is locally owned, provides full service start to finish, and will handle all the paperwork and details. Why pay those high commissions in a seller's market when one phone call can literally save you thousands? Visit us at SpringerSellsHomes.com or call 219-838-0180. Springer Realty.
Have you play today? Playful activity can be anything from taking a walk to your favorite neighborhood deli to picking up a game of soccer with your friends. But most importantly, bringing a playful mindset to everyday life can elevate your mood, increase your energy, and your thirst for life. I'm Crystal, the Playful Trainer. I'm a health, life, and fitness coach. It's my passion to help you find playful ways to get you active, achieve your health goals, and live a more fulfilling life. My new book, The Playful Journal, has been featured on the Make My Day podcast, TuneIn radio show, and in the Northwest Indiana Times. I'm available for individual, group, and online coaching, or I'd love to speak at your next event. You can find me at theplayfultrainer.com or on Facebook or Instagram. Stay playful.
Who's ready for a Polish? Stop by our bigger, better location at 918 Carroll Street in Roxana, East Chicago. With our expanding menu, Big Frank Sausage has drinks for all ages. So tell us you heard it here right on Ron Harlow Media and receive $1 off any beverage of your choice. We now have craft beers, Żywiec Okochum on tap, as well as delicious new appetizers and homemade corn dogs. Family dining and catering available. Look for our booth locations and events on our Facebook page. Call ahead to order or to hear more about us at 219-378-9556. You'll rave about our Sunday brunch from 11 to 5. Come sit in our lengthy bar and enjoy all of our favorite sporting events. Big Frank Sausage, as seen on Chicago's best. Great food, great sports, great entertainment. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Sorry about that. I ran out of commercials. All right. Okay. So, as you guys know, I have two boys with dyslexia. And the fight has been real. Let me tell you. It is something I would never ever wish on anybody. And it's like one of those things that because they don't have behavioral problems or anything like that, you would never know that they have this problem with, with dyslexia or something. And not only does Ted have dyslexia, he also has dysgraphia. So it was like one of those things that like I thankfully this is the craziest thing. Okay. I was listening to a podcast and they were interviewing Henry Winkler. And while because he was promoting his new book, which is written for kids with dyslexia, and it's about a kid that has dyslexia. He suffers from it, and he's just started talking about it. And some of the things that he was saying, I was like, that's Jack. And at the time, Jack was like not doing really well in school and he was struggling and I could not make heads or tails with it. He did have an IEP and, I knew there was something more. Like my mom instincts were like, it can't just be reading comprehension. There's got to be something more here. So, because of Henry Winkler, I went on this dyslexia website and they had 30 things there that kids with dyslexia suffer from. And I went down that checklist and Jack had 23 of the 30. So I contacted a friend that I went to grade school, high school, junior high, and she's a reading teacher in Homewood. I contacted Natalie Mingo. Love me some Natalie Mingo. And we talked on the phone and she recommended where I could go to get help, which put me in contact with Judy McCormick, who I think I'm going to try to get on my show because she's fabulous and she's helped all my children. So, but side note, so she then hooked me up with a neuropsychologist or something like that. And that's who tested Jack. And ultimately, after 6 months of running around and trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with my kid, I finally had it in my hand saying, this kid is dyslexic and he needs help. So that's where my fight began because I didn't realize that IEPs don't require dyslexia written on it. It's just considered reading comprehension. And it's not any fault to any school or anything. It's just part of the law of education. And it's one of those things that's really frustrating. So my first fight was I want dyslexia written on their IEPs. That is the main. you can keep reading comprehension on there. That's fine. But you put down that this kid has dyslexia. Okay. So, one of the things that, Henry Winkler had said was that, the reason why we don't go out of our way to help these kids with dyslexia or behavioral problems or anything like that is because they can't vote. They don't have a vote. They don't have a voice. And they're profit because if you go to he said that when he looked more into it, the juvenile detention centers around the nation, 75% of the kids in there are dyslexic because they don't understand what's going on. They don't have any resources to help them. They don't have, you have parents that have no clue what's going on. So they're called lazy. They're called stupid. So what do? They turn to crime or they turn to somewhere else that they shouldn't be. And they quit school. So it's like one of those things, like, why don't we just start testing everybody, like across the line, test everybody? And it sounds like that's where we're going with Indiana. The state of Indiana is trying to have it statewide. Every kid in second grade will be tested for dyslexia. Okay. Now, so this article has been out there and I keep on seeing it and I'm like, don't read it. You're just going to get crabby. Well, I sat down last night and I read it and I got crabby to the point where I met my mom for dinner and I was like, oh, you want to hear some bullshit? Because let me tell you, here it comes. So this article is about two boys in New York City. They live approximately 15 blocks apart. And they both had reached the end, like the public schools could not help them anymore. And they needed to go to private school and the journey started for them both at second grade. But that's where everything ends about their similarities because it's, one of the boys, his name is Isaac, and I'm not faulting this family by any means because I know as a mom, I will do whatever it takes for my kids to get the help that they need because ain't nobody else is going to fight for your kid except for you. So you are your child's advocate. And one of the things that I do appreciate is the special ed teacher at Jack's junior high, Mrs. Shadle, is driving it home to Jack. You are your own advocate, dude. You have got to fight for yourself. So he is now in his IEP meetings. He knows what's going on, and she is trying to empower him to get his act together. As somebody has to, because this kid is out of control. Not really, but yeah. I was at his IEP yesterday, and they're like, yeah, he turns in some of his stuff late. And I'm just like, are you kidding me? I'm going to kill you right in front of all of your teachers. But anyways, other than that, wonderful kid. He's going to do great in high school. They're very proud of him. So it was a very good IEP because I've been to some where I am like about to kill people across tables. I go out in the parking lot and I cry. And for the first time ever, I am at a place with both of my boys, where I go from my IEP meetings and I get out in the car and I'm like, hell yeah, finally, I've got help. Okay, so back to the story. So Isaac is from A Beautiful Life. Both of his parents work. They have both hugely successful. They live in a beautiful house, everything. This is all in New York City, okay? So he's got a beautiful house. He's got two parents that work. He's, got everything going for him. Well, except for dyslexia. So we have Landon, who is 4 years younger than Isaac, but he lives in the housing projects, and he doesn't have the same kind of help that Isaac gets. And I have seen this in my life too, where they have to put the kids with behavioral problems or more severe special ed problems before my kids that have dyslexia. I totally get it. But at the same time, my kid needs help as well. And what I did as a parent, I know not all parents can do. And yes, there were times where I didn't know if we were eating crazy meals because I had to pay for my kids to go to tutoring in the summers to catch them up so that they never fell behind. And I know a lot of parents don't have that luxury, but I was able to do that. But anyways, so I could not believe this. they have a program where you get private placement. Washington, D.C., are you ready for this, people? Spends $20 million for 883 kids a year for this special ed, this thing that I'm going to discuss. What this program is it's in New York, and they said it's very popular on the coast. Because that's where a lot of population is in a small. So this is like New York City, and they were saying there's some places on the coast, the West Coast, but they're really concentrating on New York City in this one. So basically, what is this? It's a law that if a public school cannot provide for your child, that they have the option of going to a private school. And so you have all of these people that are trying to get their kids into private schools, but there's a catch. You have to pay for the entrance fee or the tuition, which is maybe $5,000 to get the kid into the private school. So if your child is, you find out your kid has dyslexia, and they can take them out of the public school and put them in a school that will help them with their dyslexia and get them up to par and teach them how to survive with their dyslexia. And the poor people can't come up with that $5,000 to get into the tuition. So you have that problem going for you. So Isaac comes from a wealthy family. So Isaac was able to go to all of these different private schools and check it out. So he's got the law behind him, and it works for him because he can go to these schools and his parents can throw down the $5,000. But with that $5,000, you also have to have in your hand a document from a neuropsychologist that says this kid has dyslexia. I know my insurance did not cover it for my boys. And those tests ran us in Illinois, because I went to Illinois to get them tested. Those tests each were $3,000. So that was one of those things where I was like, who? But it was like one of those things I had to do it. I got to give my kids what they need, kind of thing. So we didn't go out to McDonald's as much for the next couple months. We ate some crazy meals. It was just one of those things. So the insurance did not pay for that, and it doesn't pay for it all the time. So Isaac's family was able to pay for the tuition, pay for that testing, and then you need a lawyer. You know why you need a lawyer? Because you can turn around and sue the public school because they did not have what was provided for your child. So then you don't even have to pay for the private school anymore because the public school gets sued and they have to pay the $54,000 private school bill. So I don't know who came up with this law in 1975, but something needs to be done. So then you have poor little Landon. Landon lives in a housing project. His mom is a single mom. She's got 3 kids. He can't have any of this because she's not making that kind of money to help him. So his public school had a mentor program, and he met this lawyer. And the lawyer was taking him out and teaching him to read and doing math projects with him and stuff like that. And he realizes that this kid can't read. So he starts to look for information, and he finds out that there is a pro bono that does the testing, and you can get on a list. In the state of New York, there were 2 he could go to. So not only is he put on a waiting list that he waits 4 months to, he finally gets in there, finally gets tested. It takes an additional 4 months to get the results back. So now this poor kid is into a school year, and he's going back and forth between general population where he doesn't know, he's falling behind and he's discouraged, or he's put in a special ed room with kids with behavioral problems and he feels lost too. So it does have a happy ending for Landon, but it's like one of those things. Like this poor child is, and he's being like, he has to fail and fail and fail. Oh, okay, now we'll help you, kind of thing. I had that happen with Ted. Ted had to fail out of a certain program before I could get him into an IEP. Well, by the time all that happened, we had lost his whole first grade. And it's such a disservice to the kid. We knew there was a problem. Why can't we just test them right there? And that's where I get frustrated. So this whole article was very frustrating, to say the least. So on Isaac's world, Isaac's mom kind of got to send him to camps over the summer for dyslexia. I did look into this for my kids, and there's one in Indy. We've never done it, but it's really cool. But anyways, his summer, camp was $10,000. So he got to go to this $10,000 camp during the summer. Meanwhile, Landon didn't have that. It's kind of like, and I get it, the haves and the have-nots, but why isn't there something where we can, just help Isaac along too, so that we don't keep on having this like cycle, because dyslexia is hereditary. So once this kid starts having kids, they're more of a chance of them having dyslexia. And it's like believe me, I was really crabby about this whole article, but in the end, there is some good news. After all is said and done, Isaac is now, he is now at a private high school, and he's thriving. He's doing amazing. For a kid with dyslexia, he's going really far. And in this private high school, he will be able to not only get his high school diploma, he'll also be able to get his associate's degree. So everything is really good for this Isaac kid. And I'm really happy. It's hard for a dyslexic to begin with, but if all these opportunities that were happening for Isaac, it's like, hooray, get more, people with dyslexia out there that are successful, because that's what my kids are looking up to. My kids, when we flew into England to visit Mike's family, I was like, you see that? That's Virgin. That is owned by a dyslexic. This guy you can do this stuff. You can be successful with dyslexia. Don't ever think that you can't. Don't just say, oh, I can't, because you can. So, but with Landon, he was back a year and everything like that. But with the help of this lawyer that was mentoring, he really lucked out, because this man, not only did he help him find a place to get tested and everything like that, he also helped him find a private school. And he helped them get him into that private school. It's not as fancy as Isaac's, where limos are dropping him off. And I want to say there's a Catherine Zeta-Jones and Michael Douglas Hall, because their kid went to this high school that Isaac is at right now. But anyways, but Landon is doing really good, and he's finally starting to thrive. And his mom's concern was like mine. Like, why does my kid have to continue to fail before it's like, you hit a wall and you're like, okay, now someone wants to help. So he is doing good. So, but this is one of those things that this article, I posted it on Cheeky Mom. Give it a read. You don't really have to. I just basically told you about it, but I just want people to know that, us moms out there, there's some of us moms. And right now, one of my dear friends is going through the same IEP crap that I went through. She's got 2 little guys, and they're going through the same crap that I went through. And I keep on telling her, stay strong, Mama Bear. You can do it, because I did it and it sucked. There was many nights that I just sat up and cried and cried and cried. Like, why me? Why do I have to deal with this crap? Like, and I had friends that are like, oh my God, double donut day again for my kid. And my kids didn't even know what double donut day was, because they never reached the AR points until I got involved, and I put on their IPs that they're going to listen to Audible. You want them to get the AR points? My kids want to read books that are their age level. They don't want to read Hop on Pop for, 0.5 AR points. Don't even get me started on AR points. But anyways, so my kids were listening to Audible on the way to visit Judy, and Jack went through a series of books, and Jack was getting he finally got an invite to Double Donut Day, and he said, I'm not going to go, Mom. I said, why? This is what we're thriving for. He's like, yeah, but I've been that kid that didn't get the invite in my classroom, and I know how that kid felt. And I was like, damn, I'm doing something right. That kid, he's got a heart. So I just wanted to give another thank you to Carla And I want to give a shout out to all my moms out there that are dealing with shit that you don't want to deal with, but it's part of being a mom and it sucks. You can do it, Mama Bear. You got this. The dads that have to watch their wives drink lots of wine, beer, cussing out schools, crying, and it's a snotty mess. Hats off to you guys too. Just hug those Mama Bears tight because we need it. So peace, love, and cheekiness. And I'll see you next Wednesday. Love ya.